course. Right. Okay. Can you hear anyone now? Can you hear me? We're going to keep speaking at you in the hope that the things I've just done have made the sound happen. I think, you know, the January stream, I think we did cut it like halfway through because maybe everything broke. Oh, I feel like... Can you hear Lucy yet? I feel like you might be able to... Right, we've got no Lucy yet. Okay. Yeah, stop audio. Yeah. No, it's coming from the video, I guess. Yeah, that's fair. I would probably suggest that. Can we hear a Lucy yet, anyone? That's gonna take a trickle through as stuff happens, and then there's about a 2-minute delay before it actually appears on stream. I'm hoping. Have we got Lucy yet? Still. Okay. Still got no Lucy. This is, yeah. So yeah, okay, hang on. No. No, because everything's working right now. I don't want to break it. I mean, it's not everything's working, but everything's working more than it was. Window capture. It's in the window capture. Why am I not getting window capture audio? Client area, automatic capture method, graphic capture. I want to hear audio as well. You've not got audio right now. It does. I can see an audio channel for you. It is really annoying. Well, yeah. Still. Oh God. Oh, why is everything breaking? Did work before. I'd ask Lucy questions, but I Okay, just gonna This is truly right. We're coming back. We are coming back. It's a minute or two, I think. Yeah. Okay. Fake live. Definitely fake live. properties. Make sure that's grabbing that one. Let's just turn that off again. Let's just do that one. Done. Lucy, could you talk for a second? Oh, I've lost your audio now. That's interesting. Great. Well, right. Monitor off. Monitor off. Properties. Make sure that's grabbing that one. Right. Let's just turn that off again. Maybe that might be it. I'm really hoping that's it. So I've lost your audio now.
Yeah.
That's interesting. We'll just hope that this comes through in a second. Well, right. Monitor off. Monitor off. Right. Maybe that might be it. Lucy, I'm really hoping that's it. Could you talk, Lucy, and see what happens?
Yeah.
We'll just hope that this comes through in a second.
So I think something just happened because it's a massive delay, but I feel like I heard myself coming through the window. So it might be working now.
Oh!
Yeah! Yeah! Woo!
So is that we have people? Are we here?
Yeah, you heard me. Oh yeah, still alive.
Yeah, sorry. This was Gremlins. We are technically.
So I think something just happened. Yeah. We're good. Delay, but I feel like I heard myself coming through the window. It's amazing. So it might be working now. Yeah! Yeah! Woo!
Is there like a double thing? We have people. Are we here?
Yeah, you heard me. Oh yeah, still alive.
Yeah, aware we're still alive.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
This was
great.
Right. Okay, I've made the double go away because there was, I think, a double where Lucy was coming in through like me watching the YouTube trying to check it out as well. So I think now we should have everything actually working. There'll be a couple of minutes and we're a bit stuttery over on our screen, but I'm hoping that's over on our screen and not on the live. So, how is that? Lucy, can you introduce yourself?
Oh, I'm Lucy Hounsome/Holland. At least for this book and the purposes of this live stream. It's publication week.
It's publication week. Oh, it's so pretty.
Yeah, check the gold. It is gold. It is so gold. This is the first time that we've done a live stream where I've actually had the finished book with us. So that's quite exciting. Right. Yeah, this is out on Thursday.
Woo! So there is still time to pre-order.
Finally. There's still time to pre-order. And actually, if you pre-order now, it'll basically be instantly dispatched because that's what seems to be happening.
That's how things work. So that's pretty good. Oh, right. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Hello, Brittany. Hello, Elianetjas. Hello, Laura. Hello, anyone who's not in chat who's just lurking. You're very welcome here. I've just put out the new link on Twitter, so hopefully some people will tune into that.
Let me go find
We seem to be getting a lot of views after the fact. Like, a lot of views are not necessarily coming in live, but they're coming in afterwards. So that's really nice because I realised that we stream at quite specific times. But yes, welcome. I'm not going to try and put music on today because now that everything is actually functioning, I don't want to break it. I will bring in a video to show off, stuff in a minute, but yeah, I'm not going to try and add in more than we have to.
Probably wise.
Yeah, I can't deal with that just in case. But yeah, I wanted to do I will add in a media source because I can make this work.
You want to try something revolutionary?
Yeah, I do want to try something. I want to try something new.
I'm sorry. The cat did not like the word revolutionary.
Oh, there's a kitten, everyone. We love a kitten. Oh, that's a good kitten. Yeah, so I'll just put this sort of down here. But I just thought we'd kind of go back over the process so far of creating the harp. Because I haven't finished the harp because I've been busy moving house. And because there's no in-person events happening yet, so
No.
we didn't really need a harp yet too much.
We do not need a harp yet, but we know the harp is gonna come at some point in the future, which is cool because I'm very excited about it. And but hey, we can chill now because like this time. And also everyone, I have exciting news that Sistersong gets a second release in October the 19th. It is released in the US.
Woo!
Yay!
So that's, yes, I think you did the cover reveal for that the other day.
Yes, it's coming out with Orbit's imprint Red Hook, and that they did a cover reveal on all of their channels the other day, and it's very cool. And funnily enough, it actually has a harp on it.
Woo!
See, this one is very peoply, very going with the three main characters, but the US went with the harp, not like a Boneheart. We actually had this conversation. We were like, they said the Boneheart would be just too goth. So, and I understand, because we don't want to alienate half my audience just because they'd be like, oh, there's a heart that's made of bones. It's a bit horrible. Because really, that really is the only horror bit in the book.
But that is also quite a key plot point. So I feel like if you're not on board with the bone harp, you're probably not on board.
But it's okay because by that time they'll have bought the book.
Okay.
The bone harp doesn't happen until 3/4 of the way through the book.
Sorry, I'm just pulling myself back into focus because this camera likes to go out of focus. It's its favourite trick. I'm just going to stay out of focus for a bit. You don't need to see me. I'm not important.
Wow. Anyway, so soon, yes. And it's wonderful because the October date for the US coincides with Samhain, which is basically Halloween. Nice. Which is when the harp is made in the book.
So this brings us wonderfully full circle because I think we started kind of streaming around Halloween. That was our kind of starting point. So that's really nice. I wanted to ask you about this final process as an author, because we've kind of, every time we've stopped by on a stream, we've sort of talked about the process of writing. And I think in a way, this is almost the most mystifying process, or the most unknown bit of the process. In that people are aware, there's lots of guides on how to write and structuring and coming up with ideas, and that this is like working with a publisher and getting covers designed and actually what happens up to launch. So can you talk us through a little bit like that? Can you talk us through, because we talked through edits and we talked through copy edits and all of that kind of getting to that point. What point did you see a first design on the cover? And is the first design on the cover what ended up on the cover?
Okay, so in the UK, I didn't see the cover at all, which is quite unusual, really, because I was quite involved with my trilogy, the cover design for that. This time, I didn't hear anything, and then out of the blue, a cover dropped into my inbox, and that was scary because I hadn't had any input on it. I didn't even realize they'd done it, and it was luckily incredibly beautiful. So I was like, whew. Scary, but I was very, very happy that it was so good. With the US, they said up front that they were going to do a different cover because they didn't feel that the UK cover was quite right for a US audience. And that's not unusual, that almost every book has a different cover in the US to the UK. It's like a cultural thing, I guess.
I actually have a photo from Canada where there were 6 different versions of Neil Gaiman's American Gods, and the covers were so totally different that you would never have known it was the same book. So it can vary so broadly between country and between publishing houses and things, I think, in terms of kind of how their marketing and how their imprint runs, I guess. The kind of press is what we put out. They wanted to kind of match with their brand.
Yeah, and I think they need, the imprint has to have a kind of cohesive feel to it. So it's because it is a brand. So I think that, if they have their in-house designers working on it, then at least there's a kind of cohesive feel across the board. And that's, if you license art from another country, which belongs to a different imprint, then I can see where the problems would arise. But the good thing is it means I get 2 covers, which is kind of fun. And the second cover, the US cover, actually is quite cool because it brings in elements from the book and unites them kind of in one place. So obviously the harp motif is we're here tonight. It's a pretty big aspect of the book. The woman, so obviously the two sisters. So there's a female figure in there. There are hands that are kind of plucking the strings. So that's like the whole reference to song and being played on many levels. And then there's some leaves, some kind of flowers, which is a reference to the land magic, and about the bond between leader and land and stuff. So actually, even though it's a very, very different cover, and it's quite modern and graphic in its execution, it's does all those things and it brings in all of those elements of the book. So I'm pretty happy.
Represent the book well. Yeah, what was I going to say? I was going to say I find it quite interesting because I don't know how much you could talk about this, how Starborn, your previous trilogy, had a very different cover design to start with, and then they did the second two books with, they went very graphic, like graphical design rather than like photorealist. And I find it interesting that both of your covers for Sistersong are really graphical design and really kind of illustrative rather than like pictorial. Or illustrative rather than graphically illustrated rather than like photally illustrated, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. I think that's the direction we're moving in. That's the kind of covers that people are drawn to, that they prefer this idea, sort of symbolic, a bit representative rather than slapping a woman's face on the cover. Because then the thing is, in a way, the cover is so important. Like when you go into a bookshop, like there are books screaming at you from every direction. Like, look at me. So you kind of, the cover is pretty important. So you kind of want to make a good first impression. But lots and lots of people come into bookshops and no one is of the same demographic and no one has the same life experience. So it's about trying to find something that appeals across the board. And I feel like doing a kind of, a symbol or, something more representative of the ideas in a novel is likely to appeal to a greater range of people. And maybe that's accounts for the growth in graphic kind of covers.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of a broader appeal. And sort of easier to see across a bookshop. It's I
mean, this is pretty, really, really easy to see. Because the eyes stare at you.
Yeah, Brittany in chat actually says, as an American, I really like the cover you have now. I will yell at them. I mean, Brittany, go look up the American cover before you yell at anyone. Like, we're not anti completely different covers can still be great.
Yeah, please buy the US version because otherwise they'll never publish me in the US again.
Yeah, don't order it. Alien just is still not sure how to get it in the book in Belgium. We will keep you posted on any further releases for Lucy and where the book is available. And is there going to be an ebook? Is that a thing that's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah?
The ebook's already, you can pre-order the ebook in the same way that you would pre-order any other Kindle book.
So yeah, maybe you can snoop around it that way somehow.
Yep, there's an audio version as well. So that's been recorded and it's been fabulous. I haven't listened to it yet, but I know it's going to be great. Really fantastic actor that we worked with to record that. So looking forward to that. Yeah, but the otherwise, Belgium, I guess you can have it shipped from Amazon.co.uk.
Yeah, you could probably find
Waterstones. Waterstones ship there. Yeah. Waterstones ship everywhere.
Someone will ship it for you. We will find a way. Not me. I'm not a bookseller. Don't ask me for the book. I haven't got a copy of the book yet. Not that I haven't pre-ordered. That would be terrible.
But Becky got sent when we were talking about the Harp project. She got sent snippets from the big reveal Harp making scene, which is kind of terrible of me, really, because it's like this is more than halfway through the book, and it's like,
but I really needed to know.
But it's okay because she wasn't emotionally attached to the characters.
But I think it was like I did a trailer for Lucy's last book series when the final book came out, and so she sent me a PDF of the final book, and that was really exciting. And then when my book copy arrived, I found exactly where I was in the PDF and continued. So that was I get sneak peeks of Lucy's stuff, and it means sometimes I'm terrible at pre-ordering the book. But I Also, I really love going into bookshops and picking up a book and going to the bookseller. My friend wrote this. Like, it's one of my great joys in life is like telling people. And when I bought one of your trilogy, I can't remember which one it was, but probably the second or the third. I was in Bath and I was in Waterstones and I said, my friend wrote this, and she went, oh, it looks really interesting, and she went and bought a copy. So
oh, I should just be giving you a commission on
so I got the bookseller to buy a copy of your book.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice. I am looking forward to seeing my book in the shop and going back to work and having someone come up to the till and buy it and put it on. This has never happened to me. I have worked for Waterstones for 11 years this year, and I've had my colleagues call me down from the office to come and sign books. But I have never once, because I don't work on the shop floor. I have a different job, but because at the moment I'm doing some more shop floor work, I've not actually been the one to, when people pull, I'd like to buy this, I'd like to buy this, and one of the books they put down is your book. Like, I haven't found myself in this situation yet. I'm going to be like, or do I be really chill? Will I be like,
my book.
I've heard this, yeah.
Well, I sort of had this situation when I was in Edinburgh once, and I was buying a book, and the bookseller went, my wife wrote that, and he said it so nonchalantly that I didn't really register what he'd said. And I'm a huge fan of her writing, and I was like, what? Oh my god, you're Mr. May! And then I tweeted her and went, your husband just sold me your book! And I think he really enjoyed it. He was really excited.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you get the cover, you get, you kind of give approval on the cover and any notes that you kind of have, and they might go back and rework things. But yeah, after the cover, what do you do in the run up to publication? Because I think for a lot of people, they kind of assume that writers at this point, you've done the writing, what's there to do? So talk us through publication, run up to publication, because it's not a calm, relaxing time, is it, Lucy?
There's a lot of work to do on the book art. I mean, because after the edit, you have the copy edit, and then you have to do whatever the copy edit says, and then after the copy edit, you have like the page proofs, and that's your last chance to really like make any actual, like any emergency changes. You're not supposed to make structural changes at that point. And then after the page proofs, and it's been through proofreading, that's when you really have no more association with the text, because that is done. So then you're in the weird limbo period between, like, you can't play with the book anymore from an author's like precious perspective, but then you also, it's not on the shelves, and sometimes it's not even a proof. So then you've got this whole process where if they do proofs, then you can start seeing your book appearing in actual readers' hands, which is quite exciting. But again, like, it's quite confused. Someone said to me the other day that, oh, I can't believe it's going to be out because they've seen it around for so long. Like, it's since October, November, when the proofs went out. It's been kind of, when it had that lovely orange cover. It's been in the world. It's just, and I've been talking about it for like a year, way over a year.
I mean, we first started talking about this project in relation to the book 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, probably even more than that, actually. I remember saying, hey, we should do that. That sounds really cool. And I think that was probably like 4 years ago. God. It's a long process. That finally we're here. But yeah, it's kind of, like you get, once the proofs have gone out, you start getting people's feedback, which is scary. Also exciting, because you kind of, you write books for people to read them.
And I guess at that point, have you kind of, you can't change it at that point. So I guess you've sort of mentally, like, even if people hate it, do you have a bit of a problem sometimes when people come back and go, oh, I didn't like that bit, and you're like, damn it, I can't fix that bit now? Or do you just kind of separate yourself from it and mentally move on?
Well, no, I mean, it depends. Like, if it was a major thing, as in, like, so this book has been sensitivity read, and I really hope I've kind of caught everything that I should have caught, because, many writers, we don't write exclusively from our own experience, because that would be deadly dull, and I'm very interested in including diverse people in my books, which means, you take a risk because you can only be as, you know, like a sensitive human being, but you still have to speak outside your experience. So, you know, I'm always very nervous about doing that, and I'm always nervous about what people will think of it. But if it encountered a really, really big problem at the stage where it was out with people, with first readers, and they were saying that this is very hurtful, or, you know, this representation is not right, I mean, I think at that point, that would be a chance that you could say to the publisher, can we just take a step back and let me have a look at what that, because at least in proof stage it's, you know, they haven't printed it all yet.
I guess more what I'm asking is the you know, the reviews that aren't, the people coming back that aren't like, this is insensitive, but are like, I just don't like this bit. Do you take that personally, or do you manage to disconnect a bit?
No, because nobody's going to, if you're holding out for universal admiration, you're going to be there forever.
That's a very pragmatic attitude.
Well, I think it's the only attitude that you can have, because, you know, like, we don't like the same things. People just don't. You know, there are plenty of books out there that I don't get on with at all, and others have raved about the same book, and I'm like, I don't get it. I mean, I could go into a list, but I'm not going to, because I know too many authors these days.
Don't want to offend anyone.
Don't want to offend anyone. But, you know, these books, just because I don't like it, it doesn't detract from the fact that thousands of other people do like it. And that's the same thing with mine. You know, I've got 1-star reviews for Sistersong. That's fine. You know, like, it's not for everybody. I mean, if it's these small things that, you know, I think someone said that they didn't like, that I had a Christian, you know, I was kind of, they thought I was Christian bashing because I had an evil priest. And I was like, well, he's not evil, he's just very opinionated.
Also, his, you know, him being opinionated or evil is not necessarily like because he's Christian. He might still be opinionated even if he wasn't Christian. He, you know, it's driving something, but, you know,
it's like the tension between paganism and Christianity is a central kind of tense pivot of this book. So it was fairly important to have tension between these two things. But everyone's entitled to their opinion. That's fine. You know, I, as the author, the reviews aren't there for me. They're there to help other people see whether that book is for them or not. And, you know, like, these days bloggers are great. The etiquette is, generally speaking, very good. You don't get tagged in very bad reviews because that's considered quite rude.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, if somebody tags me, then I will go and read that review because, you know, I'm aware of it. If I notice a review that's been posted that doesn't have a tag, that it's my book, then I probably won't read it because that person has been sensitive enough to think that I might be offended, and I won't read it. And, you know, that's all you can do, really. I mean, like, obviously, people love seeing good reviews. I love knowing that people enjoyed my work. But it would just be unrealistic of me to expect that, you know, everyone's going to enjoy it. I should go and change it because of what one person says. So it's a subjective business, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Subjective industries.
Do you find it, because I know, especially in this case, and, you know, with some of your previous trilogy, you were often, by the time publication came around, working on something, on the next book or something new. Do you find that helpful in a way that, or is that almost like you have to do that because you've been working on this for 4 years and you'd go a bit mad if you didn't have something else to focus on?
Yeah. I mean, the glacial rate that publishing moves at, authors are always working on like 2 projects ahead, effectively, by the time this project comes out. So it is sometimes okay, I'm in quite a good situation at the moment because this time last year in lockdown, I was writing a book that is basically set in like a Renaissance Venice. It's so a million miles away from Sistersong, and I was completely out of sync with it, so I wasn't in the Sistersong mode. Whereas the book I'm writing now is a kind of, it's not a direct sequel to Sistersong, but it's a follow-up to Sistersong that's coming next year. And so it's set in the same world, 180 years in the future, but we've got the same style of setting. It's ancient Britain, it's, you know, Saxons, it's Christians. We're on the same page.
Same kind of mythology, I guess.
Exactly. It's not, you know, I don't feel so disjointed. So I'm quite lucky because the project I'm working on now is very similar in many ways to Sistersong. So which is good because it means at least I'm in the right frame of mind to talk about a book that I actually wrote the first draft for in 2018. Long process.
It is a long process, and I think that's part of the creative process that people don't realize. Like, I used to work in film, and people are like, "Oh, that film was only just made and it came out." It's like, that was probably at least a 5-year process, like, if not longer. Someone might have thought that you know, Queen's Gambit, if anyone's watched it on Netflix, he was trying to make that for 30 years, which
oh my god,
it's just like, imagine you've lived with the story for 30 years. By the time it comes out, you're just like, I need to be somewhere else.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, no, I think I said something the other day. I was like, well, as long as I don't have to read the book again, you know, like, I don't have to read.
I can't actually. In my new house, on my wall behind me is the poster for my feature film, which is Lovelorn, and I saw that film in excess of 300 times during the making of it. And I got so good at like timing screenings where I would leave as the title card came up and I could walk back in as the first credit rolled, because I was just like, I cannot watch this. I will be in the bar. I'm not.
It's too, yeah. It's, again, I think that's something that's, you know, pretty normal when you've worked on something so in such minute detail. Like, you know, with a book, you write the first draft, but then you've got the edits, and then you spent ages like going through and combing through it, and then someone else reads it, and then you have more combing through it. And so by the time you get to, like, you know, this stage, you've read it through cover to cover probably about 10 times, maybe more.
And that's maybe just that iteration. That might not even be.
Yeah.
So I think it's and so, you know, you're in publication, you've done the kind of proofs have gone out, you've done a bit of a kind of, you know, the reviews have started coming in. This week for you, because you are doing guest spots on blogs, you are appearing on events, you're doing a book launch, and online, because that's the one we live in right now, but you're doing a book launch.
Thursday, I'm doing a book launch, which is quite exciting because it's a real life event that people, you know, there's tickets for, and that's actually it makes me feel nervous but also happy because I have not done a proper event for like a long time. really long time. It's like the last event I was at was a convention, so, and
it was,
you know, 2019.
2019. Oh god, 2019.
Yeah,
the Halligan days of 2019.
I think it was FantasyCon. It was like my last event I did. It was FantasyCon 2019, which was in Glasgow. It's that was a long time, but this is a proper event, you know, like, and it's nice. And even though I'll be doing it from the comfort of my bed, which is where I'm sitting right now, I will have Prosecco. I bought Prosecco for it. So.
I think for your book launch, you do get to have proper Prosecco. But yeah, I think it's authoring, although there's loads of people involved in the process, you know, like editors and agents and things, you're quite isolated and on your own for a lot of the time, aren't you? You sit at home with your laptop, with your okay, you're not alone, you have a bunch of characters in your head, but you know what I mean. It's quite nice to go do events and there be people.
Yeah. I mean, can't wait to get back to actual real life events, because the only other thing that's really is quite slightly unpleasant is speaking to your own face on the. See, I can see you right now, which is quite nice because I'm speaking to you. Yeah. But I have been recording a few videos for various booksellers. For Goldsboro, it's their book of the month in April, so I recorded a video for them introducing the book. And when I was doing that, I was literally having to talk to my phone and seeing myself recording on my phone, and it just throws you so badly because, you know, like, it's just your face there, and while you're talking to someone else, you can be like, yeah, this is a conversation. It's, you know, I'm getting feedback, but and that's what I miss about, you know, events, because, you know, it's fine. You know, great, I like virtual launch, you know, at least I'll be able to, you know, wherever you are in the world, you can come by, and that's lovely. But the downside of that is that it's this kind of real lack of, you know, rapport that you get when people are standing in the same room.
Alianet just has said in chat, you can turn the face off when you're recording and seeing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you don't know what you look like. Like, you sort of want to see that it looks good. It's a real kind of like catch-22 where you need both going on.
You need to make sure that
you need to make sure that it works, but at the same time you're only interacting with yourself, so it is really weird. We've had to get used to a lot of unusual things this year, I think. And yeah, I know that authors, there's a kind of almost like a club of authors on Twitter for like, who's got a lockdown publication day? Because it's not quite the same as it was, and it's like part of the thing was always like doing the event and signing the books and meeting people and seeing your book on shelves, and that's kind of all gone. And it's sort of, you can do an event, but it's not quite the same.
It's quite sad in a way, because actually 99% of being a writer and being an author is being alone in your room with your characters writing the book, and the 1% is like still quite valuable and nice, is the getting out, seeing it in the shops, doing events. And now the pandemic has put a complete end to that. It's like 100% you
alone in your head. Yeah,
I'm here all by myself. So thank God for the internet, because if we didn't have that, that would be really
we'd
sad.
all be going a bit mad. Yeah, so you're doing an event, which is nice, and you've talked before about kind of how there is kind of this build up to publication, and then everything just sort of kind of stops because the book is in the world.
Yeah, that is a thing, and it's kind of annoying, because actually the bit that when everyone's excited about your book is the bit before it's out, and everyone's like, oh, this is an upcoming book and we're talking about it, and we're bloggers, so we've got advanced copies, and so that's exciting. But the minute it's out and everyone can get it, it's weird, but like the conversation moves off it and it moves to the books that aren't out. So, and I don't know why this is. I think it's because publishing loves new. It loves new things, and everything has to be super new and in the first few weeks and great. So while it's like it'll be cool to have it out there, it's also, people move off it quite quickly. So you kind of have to make the most.
It's almost got a bit of an anticlimax afterwards.
It is an anticlimax, especially now. I'm sure, like, releasing a book in pandemic, like after the launch, it's like April the 2nd will come along and I'll be like, what now?
Well, now we make a Boneheart and then you tour with that.
Yes, and I've got the US release. So
yes, so there will be a kind of
more Sistersong later in the year.
Yeah, we're gonna keep kind of talking harps to kind of keep, chatting. And once it's out and people can read it, I guess we can talk a bit more about the plots and things, and maybe do some bits. We'll give people a bit of time. And I realise that we've got American watchers, and it's really unfair to go, should we not talk about it till October, or what are we going to talk about? But we can.
Without spoilers, that's fine.
Yeah, and we can chat about Lucy's follow-up book that she's writing currently.
We can
just start talking about that, and people are enjoying chatting about the writing process. We've said that we might get some guests on, and Lucy's sister is an author, and we have a number of friends who are authors, and get people on to talk about other elements of the writing, like people who write in different genres, people who are huge, people who are starting out, like the whole thing. The whole shebang. So yeah, we can expand the book chat to continue talking. We could hold panels. I mean, the fact that we've actually failed to get like 2 cameras up and running here and I'm talking panels sort of fills me with dread, but it'd be lovely to do if we can. So yeah.
You just gotta get your beautiful graphics back and your special heart making, your video with the high. I love that like 3rd video that you had going before.
Yeah, these are like, we have a 3rd video now. You just can't see it. We do have a 3rd video.
Hey, we got the 3rd video.
We do have the 3rd video up and running. It is a bit of a catch up, so I've kind of I've done a time lapse, just sort of running through everything we've done, so people can kind of see it from start to finish. So we started off with looking at that first drawing I did that had a full rib cage, and then the kind of the 3D design that went into the actual design we've got now, and then making a bunch of bones, which is still. There's so many bones in a spine. Next time, let's just do a skull. It's like 1 bone.
Hey, it was your design. I just okayed it.
Yeah, but I couldn't exactly do a Boneheart that was just like 1 bone, could I? That would have been boring.
It would have been. Especially could have been like the breast bone and the pelvis and then string them up with the strings, but it wouldn't have looked kind of.
Yeah, it would have looked
enough.
not quite right, would it? Yeah. Sorry, just phone. There's a lot going on today. I've been on multiple Zoom chats about designing, building work tables and all sorts. It's all happening. But yes.
Well, at least my project is more exciting than a work table, but I don't know.
Well, the work
table's up here.
I mean, the work table does mean I could build a harp on the work table, so.
That's very. I get your point.
It's got the kind of both ends of it. Yeah, so any questions in chat for Lucy? I realise we've only got a couple of you and more people will probably catch up later. But yeah, if anyone's got any questions, please fire away. Or questions for me about how Harp's coming along. I now have I have two peanut butter jars, one of which has lumbar vertebrae and one of which has thoracic vertebrae in it. So all ready to be covered with clay. So I have these different jars filled with future.
So people can walk past them and see them on the inside, like you're some kind of crazy witch lady.
Yeah, they're unfortunately not like those kind of jars. They are just plastic, colourful lidded peanut butter jars.
I'm sure I could get you some more arcane jars.
I mean, I have got some arcane jars. They're just not as useful on my workspace. My workspace light jars that I can move are quite helpful.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You had to have your arcane jars or go home.
Okay. We'll get arcane jars.
Get your arcane jars.
Arcane jars. Nonsense. But yeah, this is kind of I don't know if we should run on a little longer because we've started so badly, or if we should just go, yeah, we're done. We did good. We got this far.
We did get this far, and yay, we talked about the book a bit.
We did talk about the book a bit, and I think, Lucy is appearing lots of places this week, and going to be on Twitter a lot, talking.
I'm going to be on Twitter a lot, yeah, and I've got an Instagram live event on 14th of April, so actually that's still look forward to. That's after publication.
Yeah, so I know we haven't got our nice fancy graphics that have all the stuff on it, but Lucy, can you remind everyone what your handle is on Twitter and Instagram and all these things where they can follow along for updates?
Yeah, I put it in the chat.
It's
Sylvan Historian. There we go.
So Sylvan Historian, if you want to see, attend Lucy's book launch or go and see all sorts of what else is going on this week, or if you want to keep up to date with publications and when it's coming out, where it's coming. We have a question.
Words are hard.
Alienetris has asked, is there a reason for the Lucy Holland?
Yeah, that was a publishing decision because my trilogy is under my real name, and it's a very different trilogy. It's had a totally different kind of feel to it. So because this is a bit of a new chapter in my career, we decided to go with a slightly different name, which I'm okay with because Holland, I mean, I think it looks quite nice on the book. It's quite a nice balanced word. Handsome. My mum will complain about this endlessly. She's like, "Oh God, your name is so ugly" to my dad.
So I mean, I think this is something that maybe people don't realise that happens quite commonly with authors, is authors using pen names or variant names when they're working in a different genre or something, and it's just so people don't kind of go, oh, that's the person who writes rom-coms, or that's the person who writes this. They just go, oh, this is part of, I think famously Ian M. Banks, who wrote sci-fi as Ian M. Banks and then wrote literary fiction as Ian Banks, which was very prolific in both.
He managed to hide so well. That little M did a lot of work.
That little M that made him a sci-fi author. Alienetris, so next new trilogy, another name. I mean, I won't reveal who it is because we would hate to give away secret identities, but we do know an author who I think is now racking up 4 names.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have 4.
I mean, I'm very happy to stay with 2. It depends. I mean, that Venice book I was talking about earlier is that it's not a Lucy Holland book. It's more a Lucy Hounson book. But it depends how well these do, because names are also all tied up with money and how much you're worth how much your name is worth as an author. So, you know, if the Lucy Holland name ends up being more well known, then they'll want to stick with that one, and I'll probably be writing under that for a lot longer. So it's just simply the way it goes. It's usually a business decision, but I haven't hidden the fact that this is me.
Yeah, you've got you know, both those names on your Twitter. It's kind of, these are two things that just kind of for, I guess, for new readers and people who kind of haven't read your work and aren't like, I'll read whatever she writes, kind of go, oh, didn't she write fantasy? I'm not sure about it. Like, there might be a prejudice.
Yeah. Fantasy readers are very broad-minded. I'm not sure. Well, generally, I'd like to think they are, because, you know, spec fic, and it's the whole point is pushing boundaries. But there are people out there who are a bit weird about fantasy. You know, like bit strange, saying, "Oh, I won't read it if it's fantastical, or it's like something about suspension of disbelief," and you know. And so I think it would be a shame if Sistersong wasn't read for those reasons, because actually it's very historical.
Yeah, genre can get a bad rep unnecessarily. Laura in chat saying pseudonyms for the win, and Alienetcha saying they actually like handsome, and backwards it's Soundma, which is another option for you.
It's kind of cool, actually. I'm looking at it now.
Lucy Soundmo.
Sonohum.
Sonohum.
Can you imagine having to spell that fucker?
I mean, it's bad enough trying to spell handsome. Like, you know, you've had it. Let's be honest, trying to spell that over the phone is fun. But yeah.
Thank you for liking my actual name. That's very sweet.
Yeah, we appreciate that. I've gone out of focus again. Shall I come back? Come back. I'm still out of focus. Am I? No.
You're okay.
Hello. Okay. This camera is a bit weird. But yeah, so Lucy's going to be at loads of stuff, you know, digitally this week.
Actually, floating around.
If you want to catch more on the book, I'm just going to close our media source here for a second so that I can give you an update.
Oh wow! Oh my God! There's a
coccyx and a pelvis and a backbone on there, and like one spine piece is on there. So this is the size it will be sort of when it's finished. So, yeah.
Wow. Actually, that kind of almost looks like a drip. It's kind of scary. It's like living.
So this is, you know, the in-progress harp is coming along. It's just lots and lots of spine pieces now. But yeah.
Oh, it's going to look amazing. Oh, yeah, I can't wait to see it. It's going to be so cool. What a talking point. I'm going to have to just take it around with me. Like, you know, if I ever go on a date, it'll be like the harp.
Just be like, so who are you? This is me and this is my Boneheart.
We are inseparable. It comes everywhere with me.
So yeah, also, I mean, I am going to take lots of pictures with this before I kind of hand it over to you, I feel. Because I kind of love it. I think it's going to be awesome.
Oh God, no! You should just take all the pictures. Yeah,
and it does look too real.
Hey, we should do a photo shoot. Let's get someone to, like, dress up as one of the characters and do a proper photo shoot, like with like period dress. It would be amazing.
Yes, we'll make this happen. Absolutely, yeah. I'm on board with that.
In a magazine, it's going to be great.
Yeah, so yeah, that's where everything is. Lucy's book is coming out on Thursday, so get your copies now. She'll do updates about international releases and things, so keep an eye on that. You can catch her on Thursday for a launch stream, or a launch video, or a launch event. I don't know what we call these things now.
You got there in the end.
Live launch event. And yeah, she's available on Twitter and Instagram under Sylvan Historian, which she's put in the chat. I am, you find me on Twitter and Instagram. It's Becky Pepperdine or Pepperdine Creations, depending on where you are. But I'm also going to be streaming on Friday, where I'll be making Totoro Family for my friend. So we're going to start
Totoro. And you were like, Totoro! And I was like, did I know that?
Totoro family. So Alan Etcher's in chat saying, can I give a tip? Fresh bones are pinker because of blood. Yeah, there is a supernatural process to how this harp is made. So we're going with a slightly cleaner look than dripping blood and gore. We did talk about it for a bit and we were kind of like, no, it does. Because when it appears as the harp, like, you're not immediately meant to go, oh, skeleton. You're meant to go, beautiful harp. Oh, wait. Like, it needs to have that double take element. And if it's kind of bloody, then I'm not sure we're going to get the double take element anymore.
Yeah, that's what happens in the book. There is definitely a double take. It's like, oh, that's beautiful. Wait
a second.
I don't like it. Why don't I like it? Why is it looking at me? Cover it up again.
So Lucy's doing a launch event on Thursday, and she's going to be doing Instagram Live and all sorts of things, and I'll be streaming on Friday on my brand new Twitch channel. So come and find us on... Yeah, that's happening. Come and find us on other avenues. We will stream more in the coming months as Lucy gets to see the book in the wild, hopefully. And as the harp comes together, and hopefully we'll sort out this.
Whatever this is. This madness. Thanks for joining, everyone, and thanks to everyone who's catching up.